Glenwood, Arkansas City Council meeting, February 24th, 2025. And on the agenda tonight, number 1, roll call. Number 2, approve January 27th, 2025 minutes. Number 3, approve January 2025 financials. Number 4, administrative order, sewer. Number 5, water. Number 6, streets. Number 7, sidewalks. Number 8, court. Number 9, dial my calls, Myranda. Number 10, Jimmy Clark. Number 11, Chris Fuller. And number 12, Apryl Falcon fundraising event. And number 13, adjourn. And if there's any changes in this agenda, you can see them in the description below.
Jesus, you've been so good, so kind, and faithful to us. We appreciate you. Lord, help us to do your will tonight. In Jesus' name we pray. Bless our city. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call.
Alan Moore. Here. Chris Fuller. Here. Jimmy Clark. Here.
All right, financials for minutes for January 27th. Everybody good with them, or still looking?
I'll make a motion to accept the January 25 minutes.
Have a motion to accept the January 27th, 25 minutes. Have a second, roll call.
Alan Moore.
Aye.
Chris Fuller.
Aye.
Jimmy Clark. Johnny Cox.
Right on the financials, if I look at those, the one thing that I, don't even look at those little, but in the water and sewer, you're gonna show a 228,494.69 loss. The reason you're showing loss there, remember the grant we got that come in at the end of the year for 489,000, whatever that for, around 489. That one is income last year, but you didn't get the bill paid till January of this year. So it's really not a loss, that's paying off the money we got the grant from, but the grant went in income in these last year, and it'll go out as an expense this year. So it's really not a loss, that was a payment of
If
that
it would
grant.
have been a March, April deal, wouldn't it, will you be talking about it?
No,
Okay.
so that's really not a loss, it's just you're paying off money that was, it's the timing of it. And we explained that last month, you showed a big profit for the sewer department last year in December because of that check coming. That loan is completely paid off, both the water and sewer are completely paid off because in this funding, you got the engineering fees that the city had already paid for 3 years ago. You got the engineering fees back, so your engineering fees come back in, and then you had a 50% grant last year on the water that paid off 50% of the water, and this was 75% of sewer, but then the engineering fees got included in this grant, so it's now paid for. So, that's the only thing I saw. If y'all got any other questions in here, Jason, why don't you go through everything, if there's anything that looks strange or.
I've not got the budget put in yet, so there's not a budget comparison. That's why those sheets are blank, so. Okay, that's why I was okay.
For the sake of simplicity, how about show us the things that don't look strange?
That's generally the way I do it. General fund, the main difference between, year to year, January, is there was a $50,000 grant in income last year, there's not this year, and that's essentially the difference in income there. Street fund, there was a big bill in January of last year for $105,000 that there's not this year. And we, let's see, the sales tax allocation increases the revenue in the street fund from what it was.
It's up a little bit.
Yeah.
Here. I'll discuss more on the street fund in a minute, down there in the streets, where we're going with all that.
Sanitation fund, not much difference. Expenses are a little bit higher.
We gave him his rate increase.
And in the water department, like Billy said, the main difference is that $228,000. Income was a little down from last year. The big difference is that, sewer relocation expense that we paid.
But that come in
Yeah.
December as income for $489,000, and paid $280, whatever is out. And you'll actually we come out to the good on, not to the good, but financially we'll show the good on that. Cause you'd already expensed all that expense out.
Without that, we would've had about $70,000 surplus.
Okay?
Just a side note, something that, I've thought about mentioning at different meetings, but, these files don't just arrive on our desk by accident for us to go through and vote on. And I know when Bridget was mayor and, when she was, the treasurer, and it's a combination of, Linderman, if Linderman's the main guru on that, thank you. If it's a combination of him and Brenda, thank y'all. But we do appreciate it, I do, I'll speak for myself.
No, we don't appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate it, because without this, we know nothing.
All right, do I have a motion to accept the January 2025 financials?
I'll make it, I'll second.
Have a motion and a second. Roll call?
Alan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny.
Yes.
All right. A lot of tonight's meeting is gonna be discussion of projects that we've been working on for 2 years and where we are on them, because you're fixing to start spending a bunch of money this year. If you see number 4, it says administrative order sewer.
But when did you approve these amendments? Did we already approve these minutes?
Yeah.
Oh, we did?
Yeah. So the administrative order sewer, the administrative order the city's now under with the sewer department because of all the confusion over the last 4 years. This is a letter of what we're gonna do. There will be a letter that's not out yet. It'll probably be out Thursday, and I'll sign it and send it on in on the, what we're gonna do to try to address the problem. So it'll have, on this $33.5 million, it'll have what that money's gonna be spent for, and I'll sign that and send it in. As we've already discussed, it's gonna be replacing manholes and sewer main, and you'll go to the end of that budget. That will not fix everything. That will fix that. I have talked to that will fix that as far as the money goes, and I can't tell you that till you bid it. The engineer has, they're way behind on their work, so they have got a another engineering firm that has done the drawings on the water project, on the sewer project, on the street project. They're all just about ready to come to us to get out, ready to go to bid. We'll have, they say all three projects will be bid by June. So you're looking at spending several $1 million. You won't spend it all this year, cause it'll take them they'll be 18 months like the sewer contract. Once it gets let to bid, he's got 18 months. The water building, they've got that all ready, the filters are there. But on the sewer, this is just a formality letter that you have to send this letter in, and you have to send the work, what your work's gonna be done. That's called something else in this, and that will be, sent to us Thursday. I'll sign it and send it in. It's nothing that hasn't already been discussed. We're gonna bid the job of as many feet of water and sewer main. There's a lot in the job, and the job, if it comes in budget, you'll do it all. If it comes in over budget, we'll go and pick the areas that we think are the less, that'll do the less damage by taking out. This is not enough money to do it all. This basically is trying to get rid of all the truss pipe in town. Because everywhere you turn, we got a truss pipe leaking, infiltrating the system. If y'all looked at the last drain, we pumped 3 million gallons a day and it's still overflowing manhole tops. Just follow the pump. So you wash the sewer plant out, you put 1 million gallons a day in the pond, and the rest of it around on top again. And that's all we can do. And with his administrative order, we're fine with that. Because we're under administrative order to get things fixed, and we're under the project. So it's really a good position to be under administrative order right now, because if everybody wants to call in and complain, AEQ, we understand you got a problem. You've got a plan in place to work on getting it done, and you've got time to get it done, so.
So we're maybe gonna start like late April, May.
Hopefully you'll get the bids ready to go out by then. They'll have to come to town. We've got a lot of work to do. I've talked with Sarah, that's a member from Friday Eldridge Clark. She's working on getting, we still have to sign the bond issues at a council meeting to do the project, both the water and sewer project. That's still gotta be done. Right now, Natural Resource thinks we need a rate increase, which we don't, and so I've called Fred Copey. You
Yes.
remember the guy that did our rate study?
Yes.
He's getting back involved, the engineer's getting back involved, Sarah's getting back involved. We've gotta get with Natural Resource to understand we don't need a rate increase. Everybody's doing these projects, just said, they're just automatically saying on our spreadsheet, you gotta have a rate increase. But nobody's got sales tax like we got. If y'all remember right, in the way the money was set up when it restructured itself to do this project, the bond issues, we'll do a bond issue for water and sewer, for water. The sewer issue will, right now, there's no debt service tied to either our water or our sewer bill. We left that clear to do the sewer project.
Right.
So when we get through this project, you'll have the money that we borrowed the money on when we reissued the bonds was to pay off the water notes. That's tied to that, and we can do another $8 million in water without redoing those notes again. But you'll do about 1.5 million is what we'll have to pay back roughly, I think. 4 million, whatever that comes out to, then you'll pay, you borrow the money, and then when the job's done, you get out of 75, how does your forgiveness money? I've not done one of these state bonds where they're making you borrow your money right now and complete the job as in the spec, and then once that's done, then they'll cut a 75% reimbursement check back to you. Either that or they'll take it off, since it's Natural Resource doing it. Some way or other, we're gonna have to borrow the money up front and pay the bill, and at the end of the job, when we do what we said we'd do, then they're gonna give you 75% of the water project back at the 1.75% interest. They're fine with now. They backed off all that. They're giving us time to do that. They're gonna fund it 1.75% interest. Then the sewer project, when it goes through, there'll be another bond issue on that, and it will tie and take the water and sewer rate to make that payment. And the surplus money in the sales tax and the surplus money in the water and sewer rate will be what we operate on. That's something we discussed 2 years ago, nothing's changed here. But the natural resource don't understand where all the money's coming from, so Kopi's gonna get back in with them. Sarah's gonna go back and explain to them, and Karen and Andy's in it, and they're gonna get a meeting set up with natural resource.
So we can't do anything until we sign,
That's correct.
and when do we plan on doing that?
Quickly, but I don't have a date. They're shooting for having bids ready to go by June. If they do that, we're probably gonna have to call some special meetings, because we're gonna have to have the bond attorney down here, we're gonna have to issue the bonds, and then do the bid, and you have to issue the bonds before you do the bid. So, and the engineer will have an estimated cost when he gets everything, he'll bring to us and show us, all that's coming, it's all very much in the works, and it's all very much getting completed right now. I don't have anything to show you right now, because it's not complete enough to give us. The design work and all the plans are finished. Now they're just putting all the numbers to everything, both on the water project, the sewer project, and sidewalk project. They're all, if I understand right, they're all three done.
Okay.
And they're all gonna come to us, and we'll do all three. The sidewalk project will not have a bond issue, that's out of operating fund. That's a $500,000 grant, and then the 25 that's in the budget, the money that's in the budget, it's our other 20% of that, that'll cover that. And the thing about that project too, that project is to start at Highway 70B and go Smoky Bear Lane as designed. If it cuts back, we'll cut back from Smoky Bear Lane back to the Glenwood Drive, to the, nursing home driveway first. If we still don't have enough money, we'll cut back to Dugan's. We're gonna go as far as the money goes, but no further. And they're gonna let you, I don't know how that bid's coming. We may have, it's gonna be bid to do the whole project. And they'll also widen that road, Mountain View Road will be widened. A normal curb and gutter job is 18 inches from the back of the curb, and we're getting 3 foot in front of that. So that road will be widened with a curb, 3 foot and almost 4 foot, because that curb is what, 8 inches in the
It
back.
needs it bad.
And so Mountain View will be widened to start us, to Smoky Bear, if we get the whole project done, will be widened by almost 4 foot. And we're still in city easement, that's all surveyed, we're still in city easement on going back that side. We're still in our street easements, we didn't have to get any easements for anybody, that's all still our property to go. You're gonna go back there, and then sewer main's gonna go behind that, so. Hopefully the sewer will get put in before the water, if not, they've got a plan to how to handle that, because the sewer mains will be, you may have some manholes that's poured in the sidewalk today, but when the sewer project goes in, if we don't get the sewer going before the sidewalk project does, if we can get the sewer going before the sidewalk project goes, then the manholes will be out from there. If the old manholes are in there, they'll have to be in there, and then you have to pull those and re-concrete those, but that'll be in the bid if the sewer project comes. I don't know which is going first, but they're all three scheduled and gonna be going at the same time, or close. But the sewer mains will be behind the curve. Yes, Rick?
Are these state grants or federal,
On which part?
any part?
The, sidewalk is a federal grant that comes through the highway department, and it's already been funded 2 years ago, and that money the state's already got, it'll be
A lot of
there.
that stuff getting canceled, you know.
They're not gonna cancel the money that's already in the accounts. All of our three projects is already, the state had the money, like on our highway, on our water and sewer project, the state's had the money for 2 years, and they've had the money for 2 years on the sidewalk project. That money's already sitting at state level, they're not gonna come get that money back. Now, there's another year of funding on this Build Back Better money that funds June 30th of this year. That money could be in limbo, but there was another, almost $1 billion worth of money funded in the state after our project, the year after our project was funded. So you've got, and that money's already at the state level, but we don't get any of that. Ours is out of 2 year ago funding on all 3 of these projects, so. Then the other thing we need to talk about, we talked about, we need to get, y'all need to let me know, and here is what I was going to get. I've got a gentleman coming down, and he's gonna help me create a bid for the street work we want to do this year. Remember, we put $400,000 in the budget for street. Y'all need to get back with me on the streets that need to be worked on. The worst street we got in town is Davis Trailer Park. And the city accepted those streets when they built them, and they're shot. So if you're out down, y'all need to let me know, cause he's coming to town, and then we'll get a footage of what we can do in the bid. So Davis Trailer Park is easy, well, what's that street called over there? Huh? Opal? He says there's a way, he's gonna talk with me about a way to stabilize the asphalt and, going into Great Southern up there. Y'all been on that road, that road is falling apart, and the city did that street. 8 Spur comes into the sawmill, but then up to the treatment plant is a city street. So we were gonna look at that street. So that would be whatever that is, what's that road to Great Southern called? Anyway, y'all know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
These are what I thought about, y'all need to tell me which other ones are, and then we'll look at those, and then we'll get you bids back, and then the city council can, Great Southern. And then golf course roads falling apart out there at, on Bethel or Baker back in there.
Is the hole still by the funeral home?
Sir,
Is the
Is that
hole
not
still
part
by
of
the
the circle?
funeral home?
as far as I know, it's not. That's been patched a long time ago.
I mean, it was patched, but it's like pretty good size.
They went back and reworked it, as far as I know,
It's
it's
not
great
bad
shape.
now. No, I went over it several times, it's not.
Now then, the roads that's got to be fixed that we're not looking at this year because they're applied for in the grant is County Line Road. And First Street. And then Brenda, what's that little road off County Line Road up there?
Sunshine,
Is that Sunshine?
yes.
Sunshine. Those roads are applied for in the grant application that we've got in, and there's no, we don't need to mess that up. That project should have funded this year, but it will for sure fund next year, because you get funding every 3 years in that money, and this will be the 3rd year. And we were number 8 on the deal this year, and they've had 26 projects they funded, and we didn't get funded. There was 8 left that didn't get funded the year before, and so there must have been a bunch of cities. If a city hasn't applied for the money in 3 years and they apply, they're gonna go ahead of everybody, the way that's set up. But you're gonna get funded every 3 years, so those roads will be funded in that project, and that's the reason I don't wanna touch them right now. But y'all need to get with me, if some citizen in town sees a street we need to look at.
229 South Spur, 29 South.
29
Spur.
South Spur. That would be Great Southern. He says there's a way now, he's got the equipment, he does a lot of the Salt Creek that's done our paving the last couple of years. He said he's got equipment he's doing for the state on roads that do that. Some way he puts holes in that asphalt and stabilize underneath it and fix it. I have no idea what he's talking about, but he'll get that, and then he'll fix it up where we can send the bids out and get 3 contractors or 4, whoever wants to bid on it. He said I can help you get that brought up, since this is a state job. He's gonna come down one day. He's supposed to be down one day this week. If y'all see another street we need to look at,
That meeting that we went to over there at Hot Springs Convention Center, and sitting there all day, that guy that gave that big speech and sat up there for a long time talking to us, one thing I did take away from that meeting was the state had a bunch of ideas, had a bunch of plans, and also they had a bunch of, required mandatory, things that was gonna have to be done, which tells me that we're gonna have a shortage of contractors very quickly. So we need to keep in mind that if there's a way to make peace with a contractor, we don't need to just throw a contractor out thinking we're gonna get the next one that's qualified, cause we may not get a contractor.
That's all short, that's what's happening on a lot of this money right now.
Yeah,
But those, if somebody will get, have y'all got a street, has anybody seen streets any worse than those that I've listed there? I don't know that $400,000 will do what I mentioned on streets here, I don't think it will.
Can you get any help on county line from Montgomery County?
Montgomery County and Pike County have to do that quarter mile that's out of city limits, that's not ours. They're saying they wanna do that when they do the job, but if they don't do it, it won't be any, it's not city limits. If they do it, the state will let you put that in the bid, and if they're willing to pay it, we'll put it in the bid and state pay. If Pike and Montgomery County, the Montgomery County judge has definitely said he wants to do it. Now, I don't know what Pike County judge, he's trying to get he's got a lot of bad roads, and I don't know if he's gonna be too concerned about a quarter mile. The Montgomery County says that's his third heaviest traffic road in the county, so he wants to get that quarter mile done. Anyway, when that project will not be done this year. But because we got a grant application in for that, we don't need to mess that grant application up. We thought it would be funded 2 years ago, because that was our worst road that's got the heaviest traffic, it needs fixing, but you got the grant application in for it, we don't need to redo the grant application and mess up our slot. So, if there's another road that anybody sees, if somebody calls City Hall, we'll add it to the list. I'm not gonna go out there and tell the guy to fix these roads, I'll get a price and he may bid it by what each road will cost and then bring it to us. That's the way, probably the way I'd like it to do, is to let him bring in, if Great Southern's road, bid it, tell me what it's gonna be, put that down as a price, cause he'll have the footage and all.
Correct.
And he can tell us what that'll be on each of these jobs and we'll go from there. I don't think in what I mentioned you'll get done, but I know Opal Street is terrible. And I know that's a trailer park in there, but the city accepted that road years ago, and it's a city street. City street, so. Any questions on water, sewer, street? And we've got 3 big projects on those. One's $3.5 million, one's $4 million, and the other's $750,000. And then you can do a $400,000, and the one thing I can guarantee you, we're gonna have a full audit on the city's budget next year, not a partial audit like they do every year for the state. Anything over $400,000, I don't know how we missed it last year, but she let us buy. She's already told us, if you do the sidewalk project and any of the paving, the whole budget will be a full audit, not, what do they call them, limited audit, Jason, and then they do a full audit?
Agreed upon procedure.
Huh?
Agreed upon procedure.
So, we're doing an agreed upon procedure right now.
We have been doing that. 24 might be a full audit because she told us they've looked at the money we got in 24.
The 24 audit could be a full, there's no need in getting upset about 24 audit, the dollar amount's what triggers it. So, we could have one in 24 and we could have one in 25 both. It's squeaked under that number every year, but the auditor told us that, don't be alarmed about a full audit. There's nothing to be alarmed about a full audit, we don't have anything to hide, it's the money spent. It's a dollar amount spent that triggers it, so. All right. Anything else on?
One more question.
Yes, sir?
Okay, up here next to the racehorse, that house back in there, this lady's been messaging me, asking me what the city can do about her water. I said, talk to you, or sewer or something. Anyway, there's something going on right there between her house and the Highway 8. You know anything about that?
I have no clue, nobody's talked to me about it.
Just call it.
We have not,
Right.
Yeah, there's, he's talking about.
we've not gotten calls in the office either about it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would help, I'm not being mean about what I'm about to say, but it'd help if somebody's got a problem with a project, if they bring it to the mayor, bring it to the call city hall, we might get to look at it. Talking to individuals about it that's not dealing with day to day, it would help if she's got a problem, she needs to come to the people that's in
Well,
charge.
she said that once the message I got was that once the sidewalk was in, they were supposed to come in and fix something that they hadn't done. That's all I
Yeah,
know.
I don't know what that would have
I
been about.
have no idea.
She'll just have to call.
Years ago, when that, racehorse went in there, they were supposed to maintain and keep that road up, and that's sold since then, and Lincoln didn't get told that, and that racehorse exits out into the city street against the fairgrounds there. And they were supposed to maintain that road for being allowed, their property was too small. Lincoln didn't have anything to do with it, that was built before them. And when they come to the city council years ago, the city council said, that's fine if you use that under the agreement. That road is y'all's to maintain like you do your own parking lot. And it got sold, and I don't know that got told to Ligon or not, but, it's not a bad road, it's not a great road, but there's not much traffic on it either, one house, so. But if it's a road problem, and if it's a drainage problem or something, she needs to call, and I'll get Brett to go up there and look at it, I don't know what the problem might be.
I know what house it is now, it just hit me,
Yes, the toilets.
Oh, yeah, the back one.
Yeah,
What the back gate was.
little white house.
Yeah.
right, yeah.
Right there, the back gate is bigger.
Hey, while we're on that subject, sometime or another, somebody needs to go over and look at the water up there for Jimbo Lee and them. Apparently they got low water pressure, I don't know. It's not a leak problem, I don't think, it's just somehow or another, it's just low pressure on that line, I don't know what's going on. He had said something to me last time I seen him. So.
Okay. Anything else on those three? Next thing, is just a discussion on what's going on. As y'all know, the court system, the judge down there wanted everything to go through the court system. This was January's first month that the money started actually moving. I will get with Johnny some more because our understanding, and Brenda don't, she said she's gotta do something. They were supposed to take the money and settle the money up and send us our money back. And, we gotta go collect, they collect the money, we have to go get it and bring it up here, and we have to settle it, and then we have to send the money back, and then they have to send the money back, and I don't know, it's going round and round and round the trees. And, just letting y'all know, that's not going real smooth right now. And I'm not gonna get Johnny involved in it until he gets feeling a little better. Because Johnny agreed when we went in that meeting at Murfreesboro, that the county the girls would take care of the money and just send us our remittance, and we wouldn't be, but we're having to go there and get the money, bring it back up here, and Brenda's still having to do all the work. And then she's gotta send the money back down there. Let Brenda explain exactly. They're saying, Greg's having to get the money at some time and bring it back up here, and you're having to settle it.
It's considered police money, but they're collecting it at the sheriff's office. But it's considered police money until we get it deposited in the police receipt fund, which is the police's money. So we have to collect it from the sheriff's office, we put it in a lockbox. And then Ray goes down there and accounts for it with, I furnish receipt numbers, and we account for every receipt they have taken. And then he brings back, he totals the money, balances them to the receipt. He brings it back up here. We receipt it into the police receipt fund. And then I turn around and cut a check out of the police receipt fund to give to the clerk, court clerk. Now, the court clerk deposits it in to her fund. In court and police, you've got police money, you've got court money, and you've got county clerk and city clerk jobs. this is the way that the state has segregated the jobs, cause they don't want one person to do it all. It's a possibility of theft. So, he takes his money, takes it back to her, and at the end of the month, she balances her books, like I balanced mine, and she balances December 1st of January. Now, she then in turn sends me the bulk check for different outline items in court, because the court clerk is not financially supposed to balance the money. She's supposed to give us the bulk of the money, and then I do the balancing and receive it to general fund, to Lolita, which is the Pike County treasurer. She gets a portion of it, and then the sheriff's office gets a portion of it, but Lolita, the treasurer, gets that. She divides it up. I give those checks. I give Lolita 3 checks, and I give the city 2. So, there are different funds, but it can't be combined together, just like general fund and street cannot be combined together. So, therefore, the problem is I'm not getting my check from them in a timely manner per the treasurer wanting hers back to her. I got my check, one on the 12th, from the county clerk, and Murfreesboro somehow or another got involved with court costs. So, I didn't get the court cost check back until the 18th. So, and Lolita wants me to pay her on the 10th. I said, if they don't speed up down there, I can't get you nothing on the 10th. And I talked to the clerk down there, and she said, usually I don't get it reconciled till the 11th or 12th. So, I told Lolita, as soon as I get my money, that day I turn around and write checks to her and to Glenwood. Now, this time there was a lot of people sick and out of pocket and couldn't come in and sign my check other than Chris. Chris is a miracle worker on checks. And Johnny is too, but he's in town. And so Alan stepped up and came down, because I think he got a phone call to go sign a check. So, to make us, we were a day later than when I got the money to write it, to sign checks. So, they wanted it that day, but I had a doctor's appointment at 1, and I didn't discover all this till 11 in Hot Springs. So I canceled my appointment 2 times, so there's no more cancel.
Well, what happens is, as we agreed when we started this, I checked it out on the first court date of the month and the second court date. And so that's what I'm doing, so that makes it where maybe a day or 2 out of pocket before it gets to her.
Well, this was agreed upon when we did all this, and I'll be quite truthful with you, some way Pike County is gonna have to settle down. I'm not gonna pay labor. We're supposed to be saving money on this, not increasing costs. I'm not gonna pay labor to carry a check down to Murfreesboro to the courthouse, getting Lolita happy, if we're not getting the money in a timely manner to get it done where Greg can carry it down or mail it. I'll be happy to get a check and mail it to them the day we get it, put it in the mail and get it back down there. But we're not gonna spend labor to take back down there to do something the judge wanted to happen. We're doing what the judge wanted to do, but we did it and agreed upon the cost to put back in that fund to pay those court girls to cut our cost up here. And we're not gonna increase our cost up here and pay costs down there too. So we're not at the bottom of this issue. Johnny is aware of this, and some of this will be settled through the court, but I need to get him back healthy enough. Right now, I'm not gonna pick little brother up since he's had open heart surgery. Now's not the time to address this, but it will be calmed down shortly. Just want y'all to be aware, there's some friction, okay?
You just call me.
All right. Any other thing on the court? All right. Lot of discussion, not a lot of voting, but that's okay. Call. I know nothing about this. This is something the girl's going to present to the city council. I told them bring it in and explain it to both of us, all of us. And, who's gonna do it?
Okay, so what we have, this is more for our customers that come through and are like, hey, we have a boil order, we were never notified, but we can't reach everyone within seconds. We've been like kind of trying to find the middle man on it and see how we can help our customers better on that end of things more than anything else. And so Ashley did some digging, and then she and I both spoke to this company who dialed my calls, and they seem to have the best rates I can find and the services that we could use if that's something that y'all are interested in us doing. So basically, it's got the price sheet there. You can pay as you go on it, but this would send like a mass call to our customers, notifying them of full orders, notifying them of emergency closures, anything that we would want them to know. It'll do English and Spanish. So, it tackles everything on that end of things.
It's similar to what the high school.
Yeah, it's
school
like,
does.
yeah.
It's basically gonna cost you 7.5 cents a phone call for the automated robot to do it.
Well, from what I read a while ago, they roll over, but you only get to roll over for 1 month. So then you
And
start
you,
all over
pay,
again.
it's a pay-as-you-go thing, so if say like, we don't need any that month, we wouldn't have to buy any that month. Say we need to only call, you know, cause it's rare that we have to boil order the whole water system, so say we just need to do a boil order for the Salem customers, then we would just be able to put the Salem customers and only have to call X amount of customers on that.
It's just a thought, something we want y'all to have in your hands.
Let me ask you a question, is there, I'm sure that there's a way that, Channel 7 or other places co-op with Verizon or AT&T or T-Mobile or the primary service provider for certain areas, but is there a way is there something on the table there that we could, as a city municipality, could we get with them or one or two of them agencies or something and figure out how do you do that? Do we have the ability to do that? Like, you know, it might be something as simple as we send them a certified email stating we need them to alert the customers that have such and such in this circle. Is that even an option?
Like you're talking about the
Like getting a
news outlets
stream
and.
or.
Just like a tornado warning, or a school closure, or a shutdown, or,
Well, it's so different than the dispatch deal we had for the fire department there one time, but.
Right.
Yeah.
I was just wondering if, I mean, some of your other companies are doing it somehow, and they're targeting certain areas somehow, and I was just wondering how they were doing it.
Is there
Well, we
a
still had
computer
about
app or
roughly
something that could be put on the
1,600 people.
program?
That's something to look into, for sure.
Actual meters that are turned on.
2013.
How many meters?
That actual active customer.
About,
There could be a computer program y'all can put on your
there's about
computer
a little
that
over
would
2,100
make
active
the calls.
customers.
Active customers
Active
now.
customers, right.
How many?
2,100 active customers.
It's 2113 active, is that what y'all read? Y'all gotta get me the search out tomorrow.
It'd be we'd have to do at least the $120 package at least, and that's only gonna get you one message to them,
Yeah.
1 month.
Yeah, see, I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't know that they didn't roll over for 1 month, cause on the
Whenever he
phone,
spoke with us, he said they
It was-
roll over, he didn't, he
it
just
just
said they
carried.
continue.
Well, it
rolling
says,
over.
it says right here, it says, will roll over to the next month. Rollover credits are only available for the following month and will be used once the current month's allotted credits are used. So that's, you got 1 month and you roll over and that's it, and you start all over.
Okay,
From what I understand.
we're just looking at something,
The only thing that would really build up would be a little bit of cushion in case you're run over on the next month.
Well, the thing about it is, let's say you may not use it at all. Let's say you get the 3,000 credits, that's $120 it's gonna cost you that month, right? Okay. So now you're done. Cause you're gonna send, if we had a big water leak and we had to send it out to everybody or something like that, you're basically done, you got what, 800 and something credits left after that, or whatever. So in order for you to actually send another message, just in case, we'd have to turn around and purchase again that month, you see what I'm
Purchase
saying?
what it is.
So,
They
it's
were
either
talking-
that or pay the overage at 50 cents a.
No, it's 7.5.
So it says right here, if you do the 3,000 credits, you go over, you pay 5 cents.
Over the cost, yeah.
Your overage cost goes down to a nickel per message.
That's something that I.
So, anyway, it's just something to think
You
about.
check right now.
Sure is.
See.
Well, one thing the girls were talking about they want to do with this is all the phone calls we do for people that's gonna disconnect tomorrow,
You probably don't know that, right?
Make it
My
more
grandson
personal.
does something.
instead of making all those individual phone calls, they've got a way to build a file in our software program. And so if I got 500 or 75, or what are y'all gonna have tomorrow? What are y'all gonna call tomorrow? Y'all got
We have to, well, we've
Well,
already
we've already called them, but
We have to
whenever-
disconnect our meeting.
At the start of our call list, we had about 180 to call for disconnect.
So you just send the text message rather than spending the time
All over
calling
our entire water
them.
system.
Because
I'll let you think on that.
I thought originally, and I know not everybody carries email, which most
Yes.
people have cell phones, so
Yeah.
they have access to email. But I thought originally when we did the census system, that it had an email deal in there to where you
does.
can miss, okay.
So the email deal, I haven't messed with it in years because I could not get them to actually fix whatever glitch they had in the program.
Okay. I mean, it's there, it's available to us, if we can just get them to work
The
on it,
sets
we can
and
get it
census.
going.
Yeah.
And
That's
it's,
a
but the
census.
thing is, that email deal is only in the work order.
I got a bright idea. Let's buy the one deal package and we will call the Lux.
If I can offer a suggestion, if y'all.
Buy
can-
one phone call
That-
and we call the Lux.
I'm gonna say
And then
before,
they can tell everybody from there.
before we make any decisions, I'm gonna say you need more than one company to go by.
Yeah,
So
we
we
have
That
more.
work with me.
We looked into another company, but their system that we looked into, the one that like I found that was able to do mass calls, I looked into a couple and one of them told me that they didn't even do outbound, they only did inbound.
And the price was outrageous.
Yeah, so the company that I found that also did these, it was a $1,300 install fee and then $65 a month per user, so that would be 65 for me and for Myranda. And then it was a 3-month waiting period to even get it installed on our computers. So
I mean,
that,
I wouldn't say we're gonna be in a big hurry for this anyway,
Yeah.
but I'm just,
It's just a recommendation we wanted to bring before y'all.
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah. It's not.
I mean, it's a fast way to get to your
If
customers,
not,
I mean, I
I think
understand.
that there's something that we're gonna have to do different in the office as far as coming in and calling our customers on these boil orders, because I don't want another older lady to come in and be like, hey, I just drink bottled water, so I don't even know when I'm under a boil order.
We're very seldom under a bull.
Right.
This
It's,
bull order
it's
thing get
240
blown out
customers
of
that are
proportion. We haven't been under
retired.
bull order in a good while.
A lot of them people, if you're not getting hold of them on a landline, you're not getting hold of them.
Right,
anymore.
that's the truth.
That's God's country out there, there's no cell
Most
phone
of them
service,
do
there's
have
every
landlines
once
out
in a while.
there.
Yeah.
What? Yeah, that's what I was reading a while ago, yeah.
Okay,
we found
you
that
guys
a
want
lot.
to table this
a lot
next
better.
month, think about it.
You don't call them, you listen, you do not
I
call
every
them.
time
Yes.
You wanna just put this,
I think, I would rather table this right here and see if we can get a hold of, say, 2 or 3 more.
Yeah.
And let's kind of weigh our options before we
Yeah,
do
I
it.
appreciate y'all entertaining it.
I make that motion.
Do you have a second?
I'll vote.
Roll call.
Yeah.
Alan, Chris,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny. Yes.
Now then, I want you to get in touch with Census and see what's going on the email network.
Yeah.
Okay, before we go into the next deal, apparently our mics are not working, they're probably 10, 12 years old now. I'd like to make a motion that we purchase some new mics, and let's get this system working like it should be.
Second,
I'll second it.
roll call.
Alan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes,
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny.
we got video, we just don't have any mics right now. So Rhonda, if we could please get a copy of your video, I'd appreciate it.
But would that include the city having the recording, not just a citizen? coming?
We are gonna be just like we were before when all this was working.
Praise God.
They'll be on Glenwood, AR.com. It's all, anything you wanna know about City of Glenwood,
It's all on the website.
go on the website, it's there, baby. These minutes, when we get through, post them in the morning by 10 o'clock. Everything that's said in these minutes, everything that's in this right here tonight, it'll be on the webpage in the morning.
But we're asking about audio and video.
The video's on there, and the audio, we didn't know wasn't working, but when we do that, we'll get the other ladies and make it available. It's available now anyway,
Thank
if you
you,
got it available anywhere, on the
I'd like to see the microphones, connected to the speakers where I can hear.
No, these just record what we say.
I know.
I'm just saying.
I want something to blow me out of the room.
Oh, well, maybe we just need to start talking louder, maybe, I can raise my voice, but
Well, that's about-
Haley doesn't like it when I
That's
do
about
that.
it.
See what happens when I raise my voice louder?
All right. Next on the list, Jimmy Clark.
I need to make a motion to go into executive session.
Second that.
And what's the subject?
Chris,
Boy.
what happened to your arm?
He fell,
Have a motion, and a second? Roll
he
call.
slipped on off.
Alan,
Yes.
Chris,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny.
I should get the dime back.
I like her look.
Where did Alan go? Did you?
And
Is he not with you?
No, he's not there.
He's bossy.
doesn't look like anybody.
My mama had whip.
It's probably 80 guys running there after.
Somebody has to put it back there. Got a motion?
Where's?
I'll make a motion.
Yeah.
I motion up front, I don't know.
I haven't seen him.
I'll make a motion, we go back in session.
Motion, and second, roll call.
Chris,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny. Yes. No one.
No. You need a date, or whatever. All right. So you gonna make a motion?
I wanna make a motion that we, instead of giving the officers a quarterly allowance for, uniforms, that we just take that money and pull and leave it in the budget, and as they need the uniforms, purchase them for them, instead of giving it to them quarterly.
Got a motion, have a second?
Second.
Roll call?
Chris,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yes.
Johnny. Yes.
Anything else on that, Chris? What
Do y'all
got?
want me to set this up in a separate account or just lay it in general fund?
You can leave it in general
You can
fund
leave
and
it
just
in
pay.
general fund.
Greg will approve.
Earmark.
Greg will
Earmark
approve.
it, please.
Yeah, just earmark.
Greg will approve all uniform allowance, there'll be no
Yes,
more.
that needs to be on there, too.
I didn't see him, sorry.
I had just a few things to go over tonight.
You're next, yeah.
One being, a lot of this stuff is confusing to most people that get in here when it comes to water and sewer, stuff like that, and most of the things that we're voting on. I mean, how comfortable do you feel, or any one of us feel, voting on a lot of the water and sewer stuff? And how much of it do you actually understand? Do you get? I mean, I know you probably get the budget side of it, the money side of it, and stuff like that, but when you really dive deep into the water and sewer department, how much of it do you actually understand what goes on and how it operates?
I've got to learn some stuff.
Correct.
I still learn.
My suggestion is that you take and you create a water and sewer board that would handle your water and sewer stuff and then bring it to the council. either create a board or a commission, one or the other.
What's the difference in the two?
Commission is more or less where you kind of create its own company. And a board, of course, would be just like any other board that you would create to,
My personal opinion, I would want, I'm not against a board. I would still want stuff to be brought to the council for approval to purchase. So that there's no just
Financial has to go.
free reign of spending.
financial has to
The
go.
financial
Okay,
has to be
that's-
brought
that's-
forward.
Has to be
That's
right
exactly
here,
right.
that's not gonna be a question.
In other words, they can, you know, hey, guys, like that drying bed box we just bought, hey, guys, we really need this, it'll help give us, paint the picture for us, and then we make the decision.
I'm just saying, there's a lot of things that need to be done within the water and sewer department that
Yes.
we don't catch on to right offhand, that need to be handled. And a lot of things that we don't see can be handled by a group of people that actually are studying up on it and taking care of it and bringing it back to us to say, hey, look, we need to do something about
On that board, can you make sure, could we also make sure that somebody from each of our water districts?
Well, to me, it needs to be spread out, so you've got North Pike County, you've got Norman, you've got here in Glenwood, you've got, you know what I'm saying? To me, you need to it needs to be a diverse,
Oh, yeah, not just four.
and it needs to be an odd number of people, that way there's never any question.
Like 605
Yeah,
says you have to have that board, but the city has to have controlling vote in that board. But by law, we're supposed to have, and we've been having a meeting, just once a year with them, but by law, you have to have a board under 605 law, you have to have it. Now, the authority Chris is talking about is different, I think, than but the board has got to have one from each of those areas that we've got right now, one from Norman, one from North Pike County. You'd have to have somebody rural and then somebody city with the controlling votes. You just, in other words, if you had those three, you'd have to have more people.
I can't pay people to come to city council meetings. How you gonna get them to be on the board?
Well,
It's like Donna Williams will be Norman, the people that are
Oh,
running the
okay.
certain ones,
Yeah.
who will be on their
Well,
commission.
the one from the two out of town, from the two water districts, they have appointed and they come, whoever those two are.
I don't really
To the-
think that this
one
should
meeting.
be just blow Joe off the street. I think whoever we put on this board needs to kind of have some kind of understanding of the water, sewer business. You see what I'm saying? I don't feel like we should just put random people in there to take care of it. Because if you're not understanding what you're doing, we're right back to square one. You know what I mean? So,
Jimmy tried to get people interested and he had all the facts and figures, but
but that's just my opinion. I mean, it's something for you guys to think about and let's consider. The other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight is we used to have PSN that we could pay our water bills and stuff online at the city. What do we have now? What is it that we have now?
It's with the system. It's,
We got more people signed up on that already than we had the other
a
one.
system.
I understand.
It's within the system, it's a way
Okay.
to collect it, which we do have more people signed up now. It's easier, I did PSN.
Right.
When Rose was gone, and this, I've just watched them, but it's a lot easier.
Do we still
And if
have-
people
Do we still have the capability, like we did with PSN, for people to go to City Hall and pay with credit card and stuff like that?
No,
Why?
that's a Billy question.
Well, you can set it up on your account and pay.
Okay, but if, say somebody didn't wanna do that, and they come through and they didn't have cash to pay the water bill, but they have a card, but they can't do that if they come to City Hall to do that, see what I mean? A lot of people don't have checking accounts anymore, they have debit accounts.
You can set that up for
I think
debit
you-
account and
I
take
think
it.
they can do that,
They can do that right now.
They just do it themselves
Okay.
instead
Oh,
of just
okay.
doing.
We don't have control of that. If you want it set up, Myranda then gives you a PIN number to go in there and you set the account up, and Glenwood's out of it.
Uh-huh.
And it pays the
So
bill.
we still have that capability of doing all that.
Yeah, we.
That's the way we're doing it now.
Is this it?
It's
On the village?
nerve, it's scary.
Cause mine's different, I mean, I'm set up the old way, it gets drafted out of my account every month, I don't have to worry about it.
You can still draft out, if somebody wants you to draft out accounts, you're still doing those.
So,
It was nerve wracking for someone to give me their credit card. I don't, and me have access to their account, their PIN. I'd prefer they do it themselves and go through,
So if they go to this right here, that www.glenwoodar.com, and that's where they set it up?
Yeah, I've got-
and you're allowed a PIN.
We've got more people set up doing that right now than we did the other.
Yeah.
Already, and it's just been in 3 months.
when we switched over, well, when we switched,
You don't want that responsibility.
No.
when we switched over from PSN, did we alert everybody and tell them we were switching?
Big pardon?
It
When
was
we
on-
switched over from PSN, did we alert everybody and tell them that we were switching?
Yeah,
The ones that
we
were automatically
we
set to
gave all
pay?
those people that started, that have used PSN, we have told them, in 2 months, you're gonna have to start, we've given you a PIN number, it's on your account. We've given them the site where they go to enter their PIN to get it set up. But they gave them 2 months using PSN
Okay,
to.
but we
get-
did provide that to
Yes.
everybody.
Yes.
Okay. I've had 3 or 4 people that got hit with some late payments. I don't know, I'm just asking because I didn't think it was fair for them to get hit with that if we didn't provide them with everything that they needed.
We'll
So,
tell them to bring their name in and I'll write it down and I'll discuss it with the girls and
Okay.
see if, what their side of the story is. There could be another story. Cause I know they've talked to everybody that was doing
Sure.
PSN. And they went into detail of explaining, cause I've sit and watched them.
Okay,
And this gives us the freedom of not having your personal information.
I agree.
And I
Yeah.
don't want your personal
well,
information.
that's completely fine. That's all I had. So I mean, I think we strongly need to consider
Yeah.
the water board, commission, whatever. I really seriously think we strongly need to consider this.
Wouldn't that take the power away from
No.
you, although a commission?
Ultimately,
A commission
we are
would.
the
A commission
last,
would.
no, ultimately, we are the last decision. We have to approve the money or this or that or the.
So you would need a
Yeah, we can't do that.
board.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a, well, bad idea.
Yeah, I don't wanna get the mayor for it.
No,
No, and that's
Whether
not what
I'm
it's all
still on
about.
council or not.
no.
It's not what it's all about.
No. Sorry,
That's all I
I didn't
have.
raise my hand.
You're on.
That board would run your day-to-day operation.
That, they would run the day-to-day
If you
operation.
set a board up.
Yeah.
Or commission, whoever that is.
But you would have somebody overlooking your guys at the same time.
I've been for that a long time, but let me, if you do that, it's gonna be really hard for the city to operate, because you're gonna run the water and sewer department, water and sewer department, and not fire department, anything else you want people to do. Cause right now, the mayor can say, I need, or, it's all right if you run the fire department, if you set a board up and he says, I'm paying you water and sewer department, work for water and sewer
That's where
department,
you're
I'm paying you for the fire department. This is the situation you're gonna get into. Right now, I can tell you,
He'll have control of the water and sewer employees.
yes, right now, I'm telling you, right now, the way we're running things right now, 30% of the time you're billing the water and sewer department has nothing to do with the water and sewer department, that's not right.
But they'll
They're
have to
doing
have a
other- they're doing
security
other
clearance
things.
too.
They're doing other
They'll
things
be
in the city.
approved for that.
Huh?
They'll need to be able to, for a security clearance, cause I know my 2 weeks on city council, I wasn't allowed to go in there either, that it's secure. So it's gonna have to be someone, people that have access and training to know what they're looking for and be able to pass security clearance to be there.
Security
Knowledge.
clearance. Just the knowledge part of it. You don't have to have a security clearance to get into the
Well,
plant.
you gotta be, you can't be,
Well, yeah,
you can't be,
y'all told me that.
No, I did not, no, I didn't tell you that. You don't have to have security clearance, you just have to say, hey, listen, I wanna look at the plant one day, but you can't, and you have to be invited over there. But, you don't have to have like security clearance to get in there. No way that can be.
The mayor, being her and the mayor. At that time.
It's all news, I just get with it, they can't, gotta be
you
trustworthy.
don't want somebody that doesn't know nothing about. water.
No.
You're right.
There's
and
no-
they can't
no
be sued
sense
at a
having-
time doing it, you know what I mean, but anyway.
Yeah.
I have no problem, if anybody wants to go see the water sewer plant. I'll take them and see it, it's no problem, we don't have anything.
I'm over it.
If y'all want that, y'all need to make a motion and get a committee working on it. You can't approve a committee like that tonight. You'd
I
have to
would-
get your bylaws.
We
before
need to
you
get
do
some
it.
research on
I would rather do a little bit more research on it, and then I would rather all four of us be here
Yeah.
anyway.
Anything else?
it. No, that's all.
April?
Okay. Well, I don't know if y'all all know, we have an event planned for Paul on May 10th, and it's at the Pike County Fairgrounds. It's a cultural event. It will bring revenue to the city. It also will help our sanctuary and our animals. Right now, we are full to capacity. We don't get a fee, we don't get paid for what we do. Anything, it's $95 to adopt a dog. That covers spay, neuter, chip, rabies, and heartworm testing. So that fee covers that. We are overloaded. So what we're trying to do is get the community together and have a really fun event. I always get asked a lot about Cajun recipes. So I figured we would bring some culture to the city by having vendors who can cook Cajun food. And of course, I mean no counterfeit Cajun food, I mean real Cajun food. So it's gonna be fun, it's gonna benefit the city, it's gonna benefit the animals. We would also like to make a proposal for another time to get the city more active in ordinances and laws. That would bring more revenue to the city. If it was enforced, it would bring great revenue to the city. I kinda did the math a little bit. Even if you euthanize every 14 days on schedule, that's about $2,000 a month. That's about 20 grand a year. That's way out of budget. But if you keep irresponsible pet owners from owning pets, it would decrease that rate in euthanization. And it would also increase revenue for the city if you enforce laws. I don't know what the ordinances are in the city, but I've researched the laws in Arkansas. And I mean, animal cruelty starts anywhere from 150 to 1,000. So if you wanna bring revenue in the city, and I can tell you, I don't know water, I don't know sewer, I don't know the things like Chris just said, but I do know animals, and I do know we're in a crisis all over. I spent 3 hours the other day calling, different states for rescues, they're overflowed. So when you have an overflow, you're gonna have an overflow. If a sewer backs up, you'll have crap everywhere. If a water pipe busts, you'll have water everywhere. So pretty soon, we'll have animals everywhere if we don't start enforcing it, because everybody's overloaded. So that's just where I'm at, and I hope everyone attends and has a good time and get the word out. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Nice to speak to you for the.
All right.
Anybody else got anything to say? I'm good. Have a motion adjourned?
I'll second.
Go.
Chris,
Yes.
Jimmy,
Yeah.
John. Yes, sir.